Hi YouTubers, and I got to see The Bad Guys 2, spoilers for movie, parentheses. Now, obviously, The Bad Guys 2 is such a good movie, so I'll give you the plot and everything. Basically, it started off in Egypt 5 years ago before the events of the first film. Basically, what happened was that they did a heist to go get the car, basically, the car from the first film that ultimately ended up being destroyed 5 years later, taking place during the events of the Bad Guys 1 movie and near the end of it all. Yeah, after all that, then they hit hard times. However, Snake is the only one who actually doesn't. And then, of course, after all that, they eventually have to decide, is this the life that we're still going to enjoy, or if people aren't going to trust us, who is? And yeah, that's a good theme and everything. So yeah. But either way, then of course later on they get captured, and then of course that eventually leads to them being forced to do a heist to get someone's watch from the movie that eventually connects to the what is it? Oh yeah, the rocket. Yeah. So apparently that's the type of heist they do in this movie, and there's also three members: Kitty Cat, some pig lady, and then of course some other animal woman lady thing that Snake is into. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of forget over time, but hey, I guess it's somewhat good. So yeah, eventually they are forced to get the watch, and then of course after that they later on after that heist he kind of gives Wolf, like the footage. Yeah, I didn't mention before, they basically threatened them to do that heist, or else, uh, or else Diane Foxington's true identity would be exposed. So then, of course, after all that, they eventually try to go to the chief, who actually has a much bigger role in this than Diane Foxington. Yes, obviously, I'm well aware of that. And, yeah, they basically get captured yet again, though obviously by Gold. Then, of course, they try to stop her true identity from being taken down, and that ultimately fails. And they obviously get captured by the commissioner, from who is the police chief from the last time. And after that, she eventually believes in the bad guys and tells them, hypothetically, if a rocket was being stolen, then yes, that was true, that happened. Then, of course, after all of that, eventually, oh yeah, and also Professor Marmalade is in this movie. Basically, all he has is like a few couple of lines in prison. Then it's later vindicated, which is basically another word for not guilty, and it's basically set out of jail. And only for him to then later be locked in his gold car. Which, of course, spoiler alert, for the post-credit scene, it shows that Professor Marmalade came from another planet and actually is using his car, aka a spaceship, to go to his home planet. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole deal with that. Since I pretty much already spoiled the post-credits scene, basically I'll just tell you the rest of the film. Either way, they eventually go on the rocket. They eventually stop the three bad girls for some odd reason. Although two of them eventually argue with the main leader, Kitty Cat. Though two of them eventually redeem themselves via community service, and then their leader pretty much does remain in jail. So then after that, all of that is done, then the bad guys and Diane Foxington, who is now revealed to be the Crimson Paw, eventually decide to fake their own deaths, so then that way they can join some sort of animal and human inspired based and inspired like version of the FBI and CIA. Don't question me about that, and I don't want to question that either. Either way, Diane Foxington and the bad guys eventually find new jobs, and then that pretty much summarizes it all off. Then, well, not before a last scene showing them, driving off it forwards to whatever new adventures await in the various sequels that are yet to come. So, yeah, this movie was surprisingly good. Well, yeah, it's kind of hard to remember everything, especially when I'm doing this, but honestly, I don't care. I'm doing really good with this, and I do hope that. So yeah, this one's good, great, iconic, a 10 out of 10. Yes, yes, just like the first movie. And yeah, I can't wait for the next movie to come out. So yeah, I guess that's it. Well, either way, until then, peace out, bye bye. Yeah, peace out, bye bye.